Welcome back to Lutherans Alive. We continue our conversation with Rich Mohr Kelly, who serves as a diaconal minister at the Stewart Avenue Lutheran Church and the Birmingham United Church of Christ in the Carrick neighborhood of Pittsburgh. He serves those congregations together with his wife, Pastor Pat Mohr Kelly. And I was hoping that you could say a few words about the neighborhood in which you serve and the congregations which you and your wife continue to serve together.
Mm-hmm. Carrick is in the southern tip of the city, and it is a neighborhood that is renewing itself. There's one full-time clergy person in Carrick. That's Patricia. Churches are dwindling. There's been talk of libraries closing. Schools have experienced some violence. There's a high foreclosure rate. It's a wonderful time to be the church in Carrick. And when our Synod sponsored some conversations with churches in the South Hills to explore cooperative ministry, somehow, I don't exactly know how they happened to hear about it, but the local UCC, United Church of Christ church in the neighborhood, got word of it. And they asked if they could come. And so we said, yeah. And as we continued to talk and explore ways of working together, it happened that Birmingham United Church of Christ was kind of like that guy in the Bible who Jesus says comes knocking at his neighbor's door for bread, and he won't go away. And so they said, we need help, and we had a pastor and a deacon who was searching for a call, and we made the two come together and work and do ministry together in Carrick. And it's been a wonderful journey together so far. We've done some things that we haven't, we're doing Bible study together. We're doing neighborhood work together.
It sounds as if there are a number of things going on in the neighborhood, and it's good that we have that cooperation with some neighboring Christians. It may be helpful for some of our viewers to know that our Lutheran Church has an agreement with the United Church of Christ, whereby there can be a sharing of leaders in communities such as Carrick, where it seems a good fit, that two congregations can be served by leaders who are either Lutheran or from the United Church of Christ tradition, and that's what you and your wife are doing there in that neighborhood, mm-hmm. doing things, as you said, some Bible studies and mm-hmm. Service in the community.
We tend to focus on what we agree on and not to worry about what we would disagree on theologically or doctrinally. We focus on Christ and mission and ministry in our neighborhood and what that is, and we continue to discover what that is.
How does that look on on any given week mm-hmm. that you and Pastor Pat are jumping back and forth between congregations? How does that work for you schedule-wise?
I'm part-time and my wife is full-time. I'm usually at the UCC church Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And she jumps over there on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And she does the liturgy at Stewart Avenue 3 Sundays a month. And I do the liturgy at Stewart Avenue the last Sunday of the month. And she goes over and does communion over at the UCC church on the fourth Sunday, because they only have communion once a month. So it works out fairly well. I mean, that one of the gifts of diaconal ministry is the freedom that it gives you. It gives you a lot of freedom. You're not bound and tied to worrying about how the carpet looks or how this looks or how that looks. You're free to do ministry and mission in your place.
And you spoke a little bit earlier about some of the specific ministries that you have been involved with. What specific ministries at the two congregations are you in the midst of right now? What is it that's got you busy?
One of the things that I do, and I do weekly, is that I get to, because of the freedom that diaconal ministry offers, is I get to go to jail once a week and serve at the jail and bring the concerns of the jail back to the congregation, and I get to lead the congregation in mission to the jail. We do outreach to the local school that's in our neighborhood. Lately they've been asking us for, what we're in desperate need of, they said, was Kleenex. So we got a whole bunch of people to bring in a bunch of Kleenex, and we walked a bunch of Kleenex over to school. So we recently did the Corn Fest in Carrick. Carrick has a Corn Fest. It's their neighborhood festival. And it hadn't been going on for a couple of years, I guess. And they revived it this last year. And we had a booth at the neighborhood fest this year. And that was a good thing. We've been doing, the women's groups have done some things together. The men's groups are really kind of melding now. We have lots of cross between the two congregations and doing men's ministry together.
It sounds like there are indeed quite a few things going on in that neighborhood. The congregations get along pretty well with one another, people getting to know one another through those ministries?
Yeah, they're getting to know each other. We try to be, we're feeling our way as I go. There's no real roadmap in how to do this, but we are trying to get them to know each other. They genuinely like each other. They don't know each other very well, but this has been going on now for just over a year, and there's some people attend there, some people attend at Stewart Avenue, and vice versa. They're getting to know each other. They're getting to know each other. We need to be intentional about getting them together, and that's what we're doing.
Indeed, I believe we Christians are always stronger whenever we're working together. As you said a little bit earlier, focusing on those things about which we agree, rather than the things that have the potential to divide us, but that we would be one and working together. You also mentioned your ministry at the prison. It calls to mind for me the words of Jesus when he talks about feeding the hungry, giving something to drink to those who are thirsty, visiting the sick, and visiting those in prison. And as we do those things for others, it is as if we are serving our Lord himself. It is as if we are doing those things for Jesus himself. Can you say a few words about that part of your ministry? How has that been particularly meaningful for you?
Those things that you name are very diaconal. They connect church and society, church and community. That's one of the things of one of the gifts of diaconal ministry, is that we can go into places and feed hungry people, clothe people who need clothes, give Kleenex to the child who's got the flu, visit the incarcerated. Sometimes it's hard to get to those places. When you're in the throes of weekly rounds of ministry, it's hard to make time to go to the jail. And yet the diaconate allows the church to go there freely, without a whole lot. I mean, you just get to go. That's your call. That you get to go to jail. You get to go to the nursing home. You get to go to the hospital. It's you're not bound to a desk and things like that.
More about the things that God is doing through diaconal ministers like Rich after we take another short break.